Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative. Today we are going to do our other sleigh that we got that has the reindeer pulling it. I went online because I kind of wanted to get an understanding of what was for what so that I could get my colors right. We know how important that is. So we have the sleigh sides here. These three pieces here are all part of the sleigh. That'll be the bottom, like the seat, well, the bottom of it, and then these go on the sides in some sense of direction, which we'll find out after we get this out of the mold. I am going to be doing this with 2-part epoxy. I'm not doing it with polyurethane. I don't want to say I'm struggling with my polyurethane, but I've wasted some of my polyurethane because I'm not getting stuff poured fast enough. So I kind of want to just chill with this piece and not end up wasting any product. Okay, so we have sleigh parts. This goes in between the sleigh and the reindeer. And it appears to me that I think pretty much I'm going to have to glue all this together when all is said and done, but that's okay. Hopefully I can do that relatively easily and fingers crossed not mess it up. What colors are we going to use? Well, I have decided that for my sleigh I'm going, like this part in here is going to be red. I have got the translucent Alumilite red. This stuff is powerful. This stuff is very pigmented. You don't need a lot. I always recommend start with a little and increase it until you get the color you want. Don't just go willy-nilly with this unless you want like a deep, dark red. That's what I love about this stuff, is that it is so potent, if you will. We are also going to add some of the Nuvo red carpet because I wanted a really nice red for this. I also thought I'd throw in a little bit of a chunkier glitter. This is just, I'm not sure. This stuff is from Dollarama. So to give it a little bit chunkier. And I also decided I would throw in not a lot, but a little bit of the glitter, the sort of holographic glitter, if you will. This came from Dollarama as well. That covers those. Oh, right. And one of the other things I'm going to throw in is some of the Galactic Ghost Red by Eye Candy. I just like this stuff, so we're going to throw some of that in. Not a lot of this because I don't think you need a lot of it either. For my reindeer, I looked up online. I'm one of these people who seems to think that try and get things as close to the color as they are in real life, but we are doing a Christmas themed, so I'm probably not going to. The colors I'm using are copper and brown. I'm just kind of going to randomly throw these. No, I'm not going to throw them in. I'm going to use my makeup brushes and, color these up, accordingly. And then for this piece that goes from the sleigh to the reindeers and the sleigh, oh, I know what those are called. Don't you just love when I do this? Anyways, these parts down here, as you're laughing hysterically at me because I don't remember. Never mind. I'm doing them in goldenrod. I'm just going to stop while I'm ahead. So those are the colors we're going to do. I'm going to, not for the red, but for the reindeer and the sleigh pieces at the bottom here. Oh my God, this is so sad. I hope you're laughing at me right now because I'm laughing at myself internally trying to think. Anyway, these are going to be gold too. Just to let you know. How sad. Anyway. Oh well, that's okay. What I'm going to do now is I am going to go away. I'm going to color what I need to color it up. I figured for all the sleigh pieces, I'm going to make up about 100 mil of resin, hoping that will do it all. I guess we'll find out. And what I might do is I might measure these boxes just to see how much they'll take. So I'll do that separately as well. And if I have to adjust, I will let you know that I've done that. So I'm going to color. I am going to figure out to the best of my ability the amount of resin I'm going to need, because I'm going to have to do separate parts. Like this one, this will be, I'll mix some of the goldenrod in it. So again, I'm going to have to kind of figure that out. So anyway, long story short, I'm going to go and do some coloring, some math on my computer. And when I'm ready to get to the point of pouring, we'll be back. All right, I am ready to carry on. Before I show you what I've done, I just want to get the resin completely mixed up. I've added my translucent coloring to it. Now I'm going to add everything else to it, and I'm going to mix it with a stir stick instead of putting it back underneath my mixer, only because the noise drives my dog nuts when it's shut off. So I don't want to upset her too much. So we're going to do the rest by hand. The other colors, depending on how much they are. So I did some calculations. I'm not going to tell you what those numbers are until we get closer to the end, just because if you're going to be making this yourself, I'd like to get as close as I can giving you numbers than potentially, giving you incorrect numbers. And I'm only doing one color at a time because I don't want anything heating up. I want to be able to pour these nice and easily. So we are just going to do a color at a time. So we'll get this done. Trying not to get any lumps and bumps in this. So I hope you are having a good week so far. And I do need to stir this up a little bit just so I can make sure everything is fully mixed up. I don't always mention to do that when I'm doing my videos, but it's always a good idea if you're using a mixer to, like, once you've taken it out of the mixer, to do some manual stirring to make sure you get everything mixed up. I don't think I'll add any more of the eye candy. I think I've got a nice amount in there. I really do like these translucent colors by Alumilite. The only one I have an issue with is the green that actually looks blue when it comes out. It's got green tones to it, but it comes out more blue than it does green, which I'm not quite sure. And I'm not the only one to have noticed that. The reviews on Amazon do talk about that the green is more of a blue than a green, which is too bad. But anyway. Okay. Put a little bit of the holographic stuff in here. Like I said, I don't want a lot. I haven't really put a lot of anything in. I'm really being cautious on how much I'm putting in of anything, which is really kind of interesting. Anyone into Christmas specials? Last year I wasn't. It's kind of interesting. Last year I really didn't watch many of them. There were a few that I really enjoyed watching. I watch Hallmark, and I really like some of them, and others I can't get into them. But this year, I don't know what it is, but I have more of a desire to watch them. And there's some of the actors that I really enjoy, so if they're in one of them, then I tend to watch them. Okay, put some of that in. I can't believe we're basically to the middle of the month of November, and that the year is almost over. Hard to believe I've been almost doing these videos for a year now. Just wild thinking about that. Okay, I think I'm going to put a little more of this in. Gotta get some color, some sparkle in there, right? We're doing Santa's sleigh. Gotta be sparkly. I was thinking of trying to find, and I'm sure I have, some glitter for my reindeer, and I'm thinking, nah, I don't think I really want to do that. Okay. Just wondering, do I want any more of anything in there? I think I'll put a little bit more of this in. And as far as the drops of red, I may have put 6 or 7 drops of the translucent color in this. Again, it's a personal preference. You're going to have to figure that out. Like, how much do you want in? All right, I think that's good enough. All right. Get that cleaned up. And let me show you what I've done. Just need to do one little thing before we do that. Oh, there. All righty. Hopefully you can see. So here we go. That's what I've done so far. Okay, I did the gold that in the sleigh runners. I did the gold because the red's going to be going obviously over top. So I'll start with the sleds first. I'll just move those out of the way so you can see. And hopefully just get everything everywhere, don't we? When we're working on this. Hopefully I don't have... You think you get it clean and then you don't. All right, let's get pouring. Do this slowly so it can run into where it needs to. Okay, I am really hoping I've got enough. Because you know, if you're going to go mixing up additional color, the problem becomes getting the right amount of everything in so that you've got the same coloring going on. Oops. So what I might do is fill each one up, so at least I've got resin in all of them. And then if I have to create more, at least I'm not, the base isn't changing, if that makes any sense. Really trying to focus. Okay, I gotta stop. Oh, I don't know about anyone else, but you find you get going and then it's just like, got this under control. Okay. So basically, yeah, in order to come up with my numbers, I measured everything. And as much as I appreciate the fact that the reindeer and these sleighs aren't, you know, squares or rectangles, I did the widest spot to, you know, get the biggest number, because I figured that would help me out. I was just waiting for that one little drop to come off. This is a really pretty color too. I'm liking how this looks. And the other thing that I always concern myself is, am I sticking my pot into, you know, resin on, you know, another side. Sugar plum fairies. Okay. Stopping for a second. You don't want that on the top like that. Okay. And it isn't always as steady as I would like it to be. I just need to hold this up higher. I think that's part of my problem, is I'm trying to keep it too low. And that's causing me a little bit of grief. So, do we think I'm going to have enough of the red? And let me know in the comments, I probably asked this question already in one of my other videos, but are you working on anything for Christmas as far as your creative art goes? Or have you not gotten there yet? Let's put that in there. I figure I'm going to see how well I can do working on a Christmas piece every now up until Christmas with you. And we'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm pretty confident I'm going to have some left over. Which is okay. You know me, I'd prefer to have leftover than not. Just going to move my arm a little bit. Okay, I think this guy over here needs some more. Drip, drip. I think you might be pretty good. Keep that up now. I'm really going to want to keep this container up higher, aren't I? Because I really don't want to put this into it. I've also, I'm going to jump back to the polyurethane when I was talking about that earlier and wasting some of it. I made another mold of my Christmas house, the one that has the lights that go behind it. And because I wanted just to see how it turned out, I used polyurethane in it. And I ended up wasting some because I had to go around so many intricate spots. And we all know how quick polyurethane likes to set up. That, yeah, I've sort of come to the conclusion that the other thing I have to be careful of when I'm using polyurethane is that I've got pieces that are more open than that one was. I wasted quite a bit doing that. So that's something to be aware of. Polyurethane is going to set up so quickly. So my recommendation for myself and for you, if you decide to work with it, is make sure you have open, that you can just pour it. so you don't run the risk of, oops, yeah, it's a little tight there, so that you don't run the risk of wasting it. I mean, it was a decent price when I bought the Let's Resin. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's annoying enough that when you waste, 30, 40 mils, it's like, oh, okay, well, that was brilliant, Natalie. Way to go. So I'm just going to put that out there to you. Just, if you're doing things like these rectangles here, or maybe not so much the sleighs, but the reindeer, your resin's going to flow in really easily. But tight little spots, I don't recommend. Okay, I think I have enough of this in here for now. I'm going to move that out of the way. Maybe I'll put a little bit more in that one. And then we'll have a quick look to see how much is left over. And I've decided I needed to go find my Christmas molds so that I could easily find what my next one is. Okay, that's enough. I think I've got enough resin in both of those to make me happy. I'm just trying to think. I might throw that in there. I've got some molds over here. So where are we here? I've got about 60 mils left, so I did 150. I did 150, approximately 150. So let me see, 100. So is that about? So I'd probably use around 100 mils. That'd be 75. So yeah, around 100 mils would probably have done it versus the 150. So I'll make note of that. So I'd say around 100 mils for the 2-part epoxy. Okay. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this piece and we're just going to put this in here. I'm going to make another one of these. Hold on a second. Where's my tape? And then what I'm going to do is I'll mix up my resin for the reindeer and the tea. I'm going to call it the tea. And so that you don't have to watch. And then what I'll do is I'll probably just bring you back once everything's been poured. And we can take things out, or we can have just a quick conversation so I can let you know numbers. Just going to do it like this. I'll let you know numbers. I know I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'm just going to be quiet for a moment while I just get stuff in here. I don't want that over top, I don't think. I really like this stand. All right. So I'm going to put this over here and let it just empty in there. Okay, I'm going to go away. I'm going to clean up. And then I'll see about bringing you back once I kind of know numbers. And perhaps before it sets. And if not, I will give you numbers once everything is set up. And we can discuss more about it then. See you in a bit. Hi there. I'm going to give you a bit of a quick update. What have I done? I mixed up the rest of my resin. I was over on my numbers, which is totally cool because if I'm over, then you don't necessarily have to be. So you can see I'm covered up here. You can see I've got something there. I've got something over further to the left, and yeah, at least I've cleaned everything up, and you don't have to suffer through. It's not suffering. However, it did take me a bit of time to get everything mixed up. I had leftovers of all the colors I did. We know about the red, so let me quick take this off so I can show you very carefully. Okay, we know I had too much red, so I had to put some in the tea light container. Fair, fine, I'm cool with that. I made one of my reindeer. Hopefully you can see him over here. I got that a while ago. I was thinking about using that with my other sleigh, but I think they're going to be too small. All right. I wish now that I had used my mixer, because I have sort of dots of mica powder floating around in my reindeer, but okay. If I didn't have it, I would anyway. I do my best to mix it up, but didn't do as good of a job as I would have liked to have. Okay, I had figured that my reindeer would take about 80 mils. I'd say they're more around 40 for the two of them. This tea here, I made 20 mil. I made 20 mil, I think it was. Really, 10 probably would have done it. And I had leftovers. So I had not only that reindeer that I made, I also got some put in one of my Christmas trees. So I would say around 10 mil for that. So here are my numbers based on what I've done. I'd say it took 100 mils to do all the red parts, about 40 mils to do the two reindeer, and about 10 mils to do that. Now you may want to up it just a little bit. That's sort of where I'm gaming at. I want to cover these guys back up. I think I'm okay. I think we're okay. I don't like that I have the mica powder, but again, that'll teach me, and I need to use my mixer. Now, granted, for the 10 mil, I'm not going to be pulling out my mixer. However, for the 40 mil, it would have been worthwhile to get it all mixed up really well. I can probably sand that down and then clear coat it if I want. I did work on making this piece, which doesn't quite have, let's see, what did I figure I had left over? I had about 40 mils. Yeah, I had about 40 mils left over, so I decided to put it in one of these. These are to hold rings. I'm going to have to fill that bottom part up with something once this has set. I wasn't making any more resin, and I might, as much as I don't really want to, I might use either UV resin in that, which I could do and just really carefully layer it, or mix up some polyurethane. I'm not sure on that one. I'll have to see, but that's that. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I had gotten done. Next step is we let this set. We take out what we can, and I'll figure out what to use in the rest of my tea lights, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I find my tea lights really soon. My other room is not getting the attention it needs. That's okay. I will see you when it's ready to take what we can out of the molds. See you in a bit. Hi there. Now you may be wondering, what are we doing here? We started off with Santa and his reindeer, and now we're back to this house. I finally got around to cleaning up my room a little bit and finding some tea lights. As I said, battery operated. These aren't the best. I got these at a dollar store, so these really aren't the best tea lights in the world, but they do work. So I'm going to turn off this other light and let you see, hopefully, that it does. Yeah, it's really sunny where I am today. There's a bit of snow on the ground here, but it is sunny. So it doesn't give you a really true sense of how lit up this is. And I have to admit that because of where the tea lights are, you don't get a huge glow through this. I almost think if we had the tea lights up maybe higher behind windows and whatnot, it might be a bit better. So I just wanted to let you know I had found my tea lights. I wanted to kind of give you an idea of it. But as I say, it's really bright here today, so we're not getting the full impact. But I thought, at least I would show you that I found them. So let's turn these off because these are not the main event. And I'm almost wondering too, I'll get to the main event, that if I were to get like a better tea light, like a battery operated tea light. And I don't know if, again, I will not use candles with these, but I don't know, maybe if, you know, there were candles burning behind it, it would make it brighter. But definitely the darkness of the room is going to have a huge impact on how these look. Now I'm just going to turn my inside lights back on for my camera's sake. And get back down into my chair and let's carry on with it. Alright, we're going to get to that one in a moment. I wanted to show you this one. And let's see how it came out. I didn't say this previously, but I would definitely not do this with mixed mold. And it's interesting because there's something off to the side of this mold. I have no idea what it is. I almost thought it was something that should come out, but it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. If it's got anything to do with anything. So let's carefully get the antlers out of this. Alrighty. There's a female to go along with this one. Okay, let's get you down. Let's flatten this guy out. The resin's still a little soft, just in case you're wondering. All right, so let me put them on that. So this would be too small to work with my other sleigh that I've got. And just as an FYI, I picked up part of the white sleigh, and we had seen that the runners had gotten broken because they weren't supported well enough in the mold. And I dropped, hit a table and broke another part of the runner off. So there you have it. Be very careful if you're doing those things in mixed to mold. I would say even if you do put support in it, I still think it'd be possible to break them. But anyway, so there's our moose or our male deer, or yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Might work in my main Christmas scene I'm thinking of doing, where I think I'm going to do things standing up like this versus having everything laying down, but we'll see. All right, now on to the big one. So let's get these pieces out of here. What I'm initially going to do, hopefully, is use my painter's tape to tape this together. Because I haven't done this before. I know there's some molds I've done before in advance of my videos, but this is not one of them. Look at the sparkle in that. Isn't that cool? Great. Like I get lost. Now these guys are still a little soft. I maybe could have left them a little longer. So we're going to flatten them out just so that everything is flat. And I use the paper towel because I don't want to get my finger marks all over it. I know I'm getting some of my finger marks on them, but I don't want to get them all over. So just put that down. It hasn't been quite 24 hours. So I had done the mica powder on this before I poured it. I figured I'd done the runners, so I figured I might as well do that. So I guess depending on how we put this together, and maybe it doesn't matter, we could have it to line up, but we'll see. And I figure what I'm going to do is I have the Let's Resin UV resin for bonding. I got this a while ago, and I'm thinking maybe I'll use that to put this together versus using E6000 or 7000. or regular UV resin. Again, stuff like that, it becomes whatever you're comfortable working with, whatever you've had good success with. There are a lot of brands out there these days, and I mean, I've got quite a few of them. It's just a matter of what you like to work with and what you find works for you. I think if we did a poll and asked people, you might get a variety of answers, so I don't know. I'm going to put on my gloves. Like I say, I just don't want to get my fingerprints all over these just because I know they're not 100% set. So let's just push these down. Okay. So there's what that looks like. Boy, has that ever got a nice sparkle to it, eh? Like that really sparkles nicely. I hope you're seeing it. I'm not sure you are with my black gloves on. Better? Gives you a better idea of the sparkle in it, right? All right. So I'm not sure. No, I don't think those are supposed to go in there. So I'm guessing I might have to look up the picture again. But I'm thinking, and I'm probably not going to be able to use my whatchamacallit on this. That's interesting, is it? I'm sorry, I'm just seeing lines on this. I don't know if you'll be able to see. It almost looks like there's a bit of an indentation between here and here. So I don't know if that's relevant to anything in the world. And then these will be the back and the front. I might just have to do this sort of like this for you. And I'm probably, no, that's going to have to go like that, right? Because you want that the same height. Very carefully. Okay, let me get this moved. And I'm trying to think, do I want the shiny side out? I guess the dull side should be on the inside, and then the shiny side on the outside. Okay, I wonder if it's going to have to go up. Yeah, like I said, I haven't done this before, so you're going to I'm going to have to look at the picture online again, because obviously we're going to need to have the space for this to... My dog's upstairs digging a hole again. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back online. I was online to get an idea of things yesterday. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to go online again, because unless these go... So I'm trying to put these on the outside right now. But I'm wondering if they might go on the inside. Versus the outside. So I'll have a look at that, because I want to get this put together correctly for you. Oh, there used to be a card game that you played back in the day when I was growing up, this could be like Jenga, if you've ever played Jenga. Okay, so let's just put this very carefully on here, if we can do this without it falling. Now, wouldn't you love that if I could just very easily flip it? Yeah, we're not going to do that. Okay, so we will get this put together so you can see it. And then, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not sure, again, I'm going to have to go back online and get a proper visual of this for you guys. Yeah, okay. And then this would come out. I think I'm going to do it like that. Oops. And then the reindeer attach to this. Okay? You can visualize that. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to go back online. I'm going to disappear for a little bit. I'm going to go back online. I'm going to, potentially print out a picture of this so we can see how it goes together, because I'm not sure. Let me take this off again. how this is supposed to go together. It almost makes more sense for it to be the way I have it now, only because I have more space. And it may be a personal preference, but I'm thinking that might be a better way to put it. And then get that glued together and then have this attach in here very carefully. Not, yes, like that, because if we were flipped up, it'd be the right way. And then the reindeer being attached, one on either side. Okay, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to go check something out online. And then I'll be back. Okay, I got this printed out. You'll notice that this piece here, which is these pieces, is actually sitting on top of this piece like I thought it probably should. So my plan, and then it's, jumping ahead, I'll come back, is, and then you would put this against there and attach the reindeer. So I'm thinking the easiest way to do this is to put that off to the side. Put this together first so I can get it all lined up the way I want it to, and then do the sides, and then probably take that all apart. Let's get these down, flattened out, and then put the deer, attach them to this, and then I'm thinking lastly attach this to the sleigh. And I'm almost thinking, as much as it looks like in here, and it does, it almost looks like they've got the two reindeer completely side by side. I might switch that up a little bit and put one further ahead of the other just to make it look like Santa's sleigh does. Have I got that in there? There you go. Okay. I do one, and again, this is a bit of a challenge, but do one like that, and then do the other one further back so they're off. I think that might look kind of cool. Alrighty. So I'm debating whether or not I should do this on camera. I want the shiny stuff up, so I would do that up so that that shows versus that side. And then put these on here. Again, you know what? I'm going to put them out. Put them out, Natalie. Because then that way you've got, I know, my hands are in the way. I get that. For any of you who do videos, do you know how easy it is to get your hands in the way of things? Okay, so we'll have the really shiny part out. Okay. Now, I think I am going to do this off camera because this is going to take some fiddling, and I am going. My hands are going to get in the way of doing things. So I'm going to work at putting this together, and then once I have it together, then I will bring you back so you can see the final thing. So again, like I say, unless I run into a problem using this, so the only thing I'm seeing that could be a potential drawback to using this is whether or not light is going to be able to penetrate through. I like to think it should for the red pieces anyways, because they are translucent. And I do have my Let's Resin UV light that I can use for this. But yeah, I think I see this taking a little bit of fiddling, and I like to have things like straight, and yeah, on and on and on it goes. So I'm going to come back and show you how it looks, but if I use something other than this, I will let you know. And we will see what we do with the reindeer as well. I think I'm going to offset them. I think that'll look kind of cool. And I do want to have this side up because I think it looks better. And it kind of goes with the reindeer because they're going to, like, this nice side's going to be on the outside versus this side. And I think I am going to offset them. I think that'll look cool. Anyway, let me see what I can do as far as getting this together, and then we'll see the final thing once it's all together. Back. I have it together. I am going to give you some tips now on what not to do and what would probably be a better idea of what to do. All right, it took a lot of time. you're going to have some patience. So that's one thing you're going to want to keep in mind if you have this mold and are going to do it. The second thing I'm going to recommend is, and I didn't do this, and I would definitely do this in future making this, is to let the pieces for sure cure 24 hours, if not 48. The only reason I'm saying that is because some of them are still pliable. Some of my pieces are still pliable. And it makes it more of a challenge, I think, to put together. The other thing I noticed is that these pieces at the back and the front appear to be a little bit wider than the seat of this. I very carefully, and again, it took some time, I made sure that I lined them up just right so that when I glued it in, it was the size I was using as what had the bonding, the UV bonding on it. I also used some of the Jdiction because I don't think my light was quite strong enough curing stuff. So I did bring some UV resin into this as well. I did adjust these guys. They're not sitting together. So I've got this on this plate so I don't have to move it. So you'll notice that my reindeer are offset. I think it looks cool that way. That's why I did it. I did the sleigh all together. I put the sleigh together and then I added the tongue. Make sure it is set. For sure that it is set because it tends to bend down. I still have some gluing to do on this. We are not done with this because it's not secure, but I did want to get it together for this video. So I'm going to let this set up. And when I say that, I'm going to let the pieces set up so I can manipulate it easier. And I've just got it on the platform that came with the Let's Resin UV lamp. So I could move it around easier for you. What else? Wear gloves. If you're going to touch this before 24 hours is up, wear gloves. I've got some fingerprints on this. I'm hoping that once this is set up that I'll be able to get rid of those. And if I'm not, well, that's my own fault. So yeah, I would definitely let this cure up and or wear gloves. But for ease of putting it together, I think it would be much better to have it know that your resin pieces are set so that they don't start bending. But this is what it looks like. I think it's really cute. I think it's cute. Do I like it better than the other sleigh? I think I like it a little bit better because of the fact that I have the reindeer that go with it. I might see if these reindeer will work with the other sleigh and even this, T-tongue piece to see if that would work. Because if it does, then that's great. Then you have what you need for both sleighs, which is kind of cool. But the other thing I kind of thought about too was decorating, putting candy canes in here, putting candy kisses in here, making up some sort of small floral to put inside of this. When I did the other sleigh, I had some of my resin trees that could go in here. If you had, I'm trying to think, the trees that I put in my apple, when I did that, the ones that have, I don't even know how to describe them. You can find them at the Dollar Tree, but they're not resin trees. They look like trees. I know. You'll understand if you go back and look at my apple what I'm talking about on that one. You could also decorate if, depending on what you were doing, put some, again, I'm into the whole collage thing, some sort of collage on the side of that. If you had stickers of some sort that you could put on the side of that, just to decorate it up a little bit. I have glitter snowflakes I could put on this. I have glitter candy canes, trees, reindeer. You could decorate this up a little bit if you wanted to. I think depending on where you had this, now I have some of the Ranger grit paste snowfall. I think it's called snowfall. So you could do this up and put it you know, on and make it look more Christmassy. If you were doing a table arrangement, you could, you know, sort of have this sitting on a tray and then have it, you know, using cotton to, you know, sort of make a decoration around it. So I think there are lots of possibilities, again, with this piece of what you could do with it. And I think it is a cute piece. And I do like how I, you know, matched the tongue with the sleigh runners on this. But that's what she looks like. She's going to sit for a little bit, harden up, and then I will go to putting more of either the Let's Resin bonding on it or the Jdiction UV resin just to solidify this up so it's not going to come apart accidentally. But I will leave it for now because it needs to set up some more. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you, if you have it, take your time putting it together. I found the way I did it worked, and I think the reason I felt it was better to do the sleigh first and then put the tongue on and then the reindeer was so that when I put the reindeer on, I had them sort of the right distance away from the back of the sleigh runners, because I'd hate to see you put the reindeer on the T-piece and then attach it and you're running into the runners, unless you have some way of sort of gauging, which, you know, obviously you could, for sure. But I just felt that doing it the way I did it worked well for me. So let's put this down carefully. And there's another one of our Christmas pieces done. And again, yeah, best to leave this 24 to 48 hours before you start messing around with it. I think the reindeer you could probably do with mixed to mold as long as you let it sit up for at least 24 hours. The sides and the bottom of this, yes, I wouldn't suggest it for the sides of this, and the T most definitely could be done with that. I just let them sit long enough. That's it. That's another one of our Christmas pieces done. I have no idea what I'm doing for you next. I hope you found this useful. I hope you find the tips that I provide as I'm going along with you. And the only reason I didn't walk you through me putting this together was because it would have been way too time consuming for everyone involved. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate all my subscribers. Any comments you have, please drop them below. Let me know if you've got this mold, if you've, and any tips you have for putting stuff like this together. I'm always open to tips. Anyway, have a great day, be creative, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.